Hey, Pickle Peeps! Welcome back. It is day 37 of our 100K sprint here. And, woo, we're going to honestly take it quick because after this, I'm going to look at Christmas lights with my nephew. So, all right. It is Friday. It's Friday evening. We're just before 7 o'clock. It's time I have to leave. And we're going into the weekend, so I hope you guys are prepping for a good weekend. Here's the numbers to kick us off. We have emails, 1, sales, social, SMS, 0, and sales, $0, but I did invoice people, so they just have to pay the invoices. I don't want to say those numbers that I got sale numbers in until, like, the cash hits the bank, the transaction happens. So, whew, like I said, getting ready for the weekend, getting ready for family time. I'm getting ready to let my brain decompress. I've been in trainings for 3 days now, like super heavy duty master classes that I'm not going to lie, today's class could have been an 8-week course that they compressed down to 6 hours. Most people even in the chat were just like, I'm going to need to watch this 5-10 times. My brain is melting. It's dripping out of my ears. All that kind of crazy stuff. And I'll say for the first half of the day, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I do everything wrong in my business. I don't know my customers at all. Like, I'm a failure. Why am I even here? Should just hang up everything. And then, ate lunch and it got a lot better in the second half of the day. So today was all about content creation and attractive character and how to create content that actually gets your customers' attention and retention, and then tomorrow's just kind of our ads, which is more like the sales side of it. But like getting your customers to fall in love with you. And yes, a lot of it has a course spin on it when I'm more product, and it's just like, oh my God. Brain dribbling out of ear. It was insane. When they said we got the slides at the end, they said it was 165 slides. I was like, that's it? Only 165 slides? What? But I want to share with you like some of my really, really cool takeaways from this that I'm not going to look down at my notebook. But she talked a lot. This was run by Kaylin Poulin, which is who was the former owner of Lady Boss. She sold it earlier this year. Good for her. She's moved on and she's doing other stuff now. But she ran Lady Boss for 8 years. She brought it up from absolutely nothing and broke to $200 million. So this is a content strategy that you pay attention to, right? And everything she did was systematized, mathematized. Like everything is by the numbers, by the book, specific pathway and analysis of content to create more of what works. And one of the coolest things, like the first part of the day was she was just like, I had no clue. It's like, oh my God, this like goes so deep on stuff that I've heard people talk about like on surface level, but she like went Grand Canyon level deep, Mariana Trench level deep on stuff I usually hear people talk about surface level. It's like, what do your customers want? Your customer, who's your dream customer, and what do they like, and what do they don't like, and what are their dreams, and who do they not like, and all this stuff. Like, oh, it's crazy. So that was like the overwhelm point. When we came back, and the second part of the day was the system for how she creates and publishes content. And that part, while like 100 times more complicated because we're talking about someone who ran a $200 million business, I could see in what she was teaching the elements of what we also teach in the Biz Fit Bootcamp. And that was just like, we are doing the right thing for you guys. Like, we know it works. But to have it validated like that, well, she's extreme, would never do that to you guys. Like, who goes into a 3-day boot camp like we do. Like probably 1 or 2 hours of what she did today could be a 3-day boot camp pretty easy. It was insane. But like I said, the big themes that she was doing, the content planning, a lot of the start for the content planning, it was very, very, very similar to the processes that we teach in boot camp that I've been teaching since the beginning. So cool with that. So if you would like a smidge, I promise, no brains dripping out of your ears from boot camp. We're gonna have fun. We get like your January knocked out, all of that awesome stuff, and we launched it so you can start reserving your seats today for the Biz Fit Bootcamp. Like, we've been working on that for a while. Like I said, it's just massive validation. But I was looking at your content and figuring out, like, being exceptionally strategic about what you have to create, what goes where. And one of the things that I so loved that Kaylin talked about, let's see if it's on here. She said the path is math a lot, but here we go. she talked about omnipresence just a little bit, because I totally do not believe in omnipresence. I do not believe that a person should be everywhere and taking the same content and just putting it like spewing content across places. I don't really think that's right. And Caitlin agreed with that. She was like, absolutely not. We don't spew content here. We don't just duplicate everything that we do, but we do duplicate the best stuff that we do. So she said omnipresence happens through multiplication, not new creation. Well, yeah, so she talked about two things. One, omnipresence, so like being everywhere, that's based off of the content we do that performs well. So it's not creating new content and putting it everywhere all the time. Like, process she talked about was like the part that had people's brains dripping out of their ears was about how ways that you can bank and create content and actually get yourself like a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year ahead in content that you have banked, and then your team can put out. And she recommended a whole bunch of tools that I will be checking out, and I'm sure are very expensive. So maybe I'll report back on that tomorrow or Sunday, because tomorrow's my last day of these 4 days of like insane masterclasses. Yeah. I don't know how many pages of notes I took today, but I did want to come in and talk about that for like 1 second about like, and how this comes down to like how important it is to have a content plan. There are people in the chat for this masterclass who are like, this is insane. What if you're just getting started? There's no way I could ever do this. My brain is exploding. I can't even follow. Like, this is impossible. You're insane. There weren't a lot of those comments, but some people, they were definitely feeling the panic and the overwhelm. And it's not necessary. It's totally not necessary to have all that panic and overwhelm, because you don't need it. Like, you start with what you have and then you move forward from it, and you assess what you did and then you move forward from it. But just the straight process of building out a content plan can be such a daunting, dreaded thing. And it doesn't have to be. Like, if you follow a system for building out a content plan, it can be really simple, get done really, really fast. Like, we do it in bootcamp in about an hour. On the sessions that I take you through on how to build out a content plan. We do it in about an hour. And it can be a lot of fun. It does not need to be overwhelming to build or to execute. And that's what we want to help you with in bootcamp. So you can go into 2023 and you can make 2023 your year. Your year. It totally deserves to be your year. If 2022 was awesome for you, then I want 2023 to be better, to be even more amazing. Whatever your goals that you want to set off of that. If 2022 was not your year, then I want 2023 to be your year. And we only do that. We don't do that by being random. We don't do that by being last minute. Even though in bootcamp we joke all the time that I compare myself to Andrew, and I do it on joking purpose, saying like, be like Andrew, who's like a week to 3 weeks ahead on his stuff, not like me, who's throwing it up today. And that's a little extreme sometimes. Not all the time. There are plenty of times that it's a today option. These videos are today option, but they're supposed to be. That's how they're designed. But having that plan, so even if you are last minute, even if you are doing your content like on the day it's supposed to go out, just having the plan gets you so much further ahead and will help you stick to your content plan, your content strategy so much longer than if you're just like throwing things at the wall, because there are specific processes to doing this that make it not overwhelming, that actually make it fun, and that can definitely get you results. And the best part, if it doesn't get you results, you have a dedicated system to follow and to look at and assess, why didn't that work? What part of it worked? Because I guarantee something in it worked. And then you can do more of what worked, and you can cut out the stuff that doesn't work. But you only know that once you do it. So that is my rant for today. I know not much of a rant. We're going to go look at Christmas lights now. And you guys have an absolutely awesome weekend. I may or may not post tomorrow. I don't know. With 7 hours of babysitting, 7 hours of training, and a live show. I don't know if I'll post tomorrow, but we'll see. If I don't, you guys have a spectacular weekend. Stay epic. We are, I hate to say the words, almost through the holiday season, but we're almost to the point in the holiday season where it's done and we can relax. That is both wonderful and terrifying at the same time. Let me know your opinion below. And let me know, do you use a content strategy? All right, that's what I want to know. Bye, guys.